start with that last play, but I won't. That was some bull jive. I don't know who thought of that, but they didn't get rid of that play, Skip.
I don't know.
I think the biggest reason they lost is the inconsistency of Dak Prescott, and therefore the inconsistency of the offense. We know this. We have empirical data, Skip. When the Cowboys run the football more than they throw it, the chances of them winning greatly increases. But they threw the ball 15 more times than which they ran it yesterday. And that is a recipe for success. That is a recipe for you getting bounced. And I told you, Skip, we have a 7-year body of work, a body that's a large sample size of what Dak Prescott is. He is inconsistent. Everybody wants to.
That's putting it mildly.
I'm putting it mild. I'm not going.
You're being nice.
I'm not going to be harsh yet.
Okay.
Okay. We saw 7 straight games. The man throw a pick. 3 of those games he threw a pick 6. So we're going to disregard that 2-month stretch. It says, well, against the Tampa Bay, that's who he is. So we disregard 2 months to focus on one game in which he played exceptional against a very bad football team. And then when he comes out and stinks it up again against the 49ers, they say, well, what happened, Dak? The same thing that's been happening for 7 years. Mm-hmm. How much do you need to see before you realize that Dak Prescott is inconsistency? Skip, I think the thing is that they want the Cowboys to win so bad, but it's hard to overcome inconsistent play. And then once Tony Pollard went down, I know y'all didn't have no explosive plays coming out of the run game, and now you can just focus on CD. Skip, I told you, y'all was going to miss Amari. Remember, how many passes did Michael Gallup catch yesterday?
0.
How many passes did Michael?
He should have had 1, but I'll get to that. Go ahead.
Yeah, your boy threw that way behind him. He was open.
Thank you.
Noah Brown had 2, and then T.Y. Hilton had 1. I told you, I said, you're going to miss Amari. No, we're not going to miss Amari. I feel good going forward. Going forward, where you going home?
Okay, but you got to give me this. CD was pretty good yesterday.
But you needed somebody.
He played pretty big.
He played unbelievable. Yes. But you needed somebody to offset him because Dak started focusing in on him, and then that's why he got that pick. Ward jumped him, know that, you know what, if nothing, he going to come back to CD. He jumps it, pops it up, and now you took points off the board, Skip. The touchdown, the first interception, you gave him a short field, they kick a field goal. Yeah. The second interception, you took points off the board. I'm assuming that Marv was going to make that kick. You took points off your board. They get a long drive. They get points at the end. So now you cost yourself, at bare minimum, that's a 6-point swing. Yep. And that's why you lost the game, Skip. Dak needed to play mistake-free football. Jerry Jones got on his radio show. It was quoted, turnovers is not Dak's DNA. Well, guess what? I called, who's that, Maury Povich? Mm-hmm. And Dak, you are the father of those turnovers.
Really?
Yeah, you are the father of those 2 interceptions. Yeah. And those 7 straight games with at least 1 interception. In 3 of those games, you had a pick 6.
15 interceptions that led the league this year, in only 12 games. Go ahead.
And he's led the league in fumbles lost, and he's come in second in fumbles lost. Yeah. So turnovers is in his DNA, contrary to what people want to believe. Yeah. And so that's what happened, Skip. And if you look at Dak Prescott, he was 12th in QBR, tied for 17th in big-time throws. He was 21st in Pro Football Focus offensive grades, and 11th in next-gen stats completion over the expectations. Mm-hmm. So basically, Skip, he's a middle-of-the-pack quarterback. Mm-hmm. I don't care if you're paying $40 million. I don't care if he plays for the Cowboys. He is what he is. Mm. And he's a very average quarterback, and you have lofty expectations. And with expectation, and because you had such, and a lot of people had such high expectations, that's why it hurts so much. Nobody is upset that the Raiders and nobody's carrying on like this one bad, but you had such high expectations. This is a Super Bowl team, but you're inconsistent. Mm. So it's my time to gloat. I don't want to gloat too bad because I know it's tough on you. It's rough on you because you put a lot in this one. This one felt different. I mean, your attitude, the way you was coming out here week after week, this one felt different, Skip. It's not like the ones past your rookie year and a couple of years later and even last year. This one felt different to you. I could tell.
Unfortunately, it is now my turn. This was different to me. I didn't see this one coming, and it ripped my Cowboy-loving heart out, and it crushed my Cowboy-loving soul. I should have listened to you all year very long, but I just can't help myself when it comes to this team.
You cannot.
This isn't America's team for me. This is America's tease, led by Captain Tease, Rain Dakota Prescott, and we should respell his first name R-A-I-N because he rains on my parade again and again and again.
In the biggest of moments.
And I told you Friday my first 34 years as a Cowboy fan, they played in 49 playoff games, which was 18 more than any other team over those 34 years.
Yes.
8 Super Bowls and 5 Lombardis, and I can go on and on and on. I was spoiled rotten, and I keep reaching back to the glorious past, and I stick my hand in there, and it gets bitten off. Yep. Every time I reach back for it, it gets bitten off.
Chop it off.
It has now been 28 years since we even got to an NFC Championship game. That's 28 years and counting, because I don't see us getting there next year. We're going to talk about that in a few minutes. In those last 27 years, we are now 5-12 in the postseason. That is the worst playoff winning percentage of any team in the whole NFL, and it only got worse yesterday. I did want this game worse than any I've ever wanted in my Cowboy-loving life, because I told you all year they kept flashing their firepower, but then I should have listened to you, because what happened at the end, they took their foot off the gas, and all of a sudden, Tennessee happened, and then Washington happened, that debacle that ended the year. Yeah. And it's just, they were screaming at you, no, 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 no. And I said, yes. And then they go to Tampa, and they take advantage of a defense that was average at best all year, and it can't rush the passer.
No.
And Dak stood back there and threw the biggest party in a place that he loves to play, because the last time he played down there, he threw for 403 yards. So in that game at Brady against the GOAT, he had a QBR of 97 just last Monday night. That's on a scale of 0 to 100. 97 QBR turned in yesterday to...
37?
What's that?
What was it, 37? Lower than that?
Terrible. No, it was like a 52, but I thought it was overgraded. But,
yeah.
But mine, that for me personally, the 97 turned into my all-time favorite one-hit wonder from the 60s called 96 Tears. So it went from 97 QBR to 96 Tears, a song by Question Mark and the Mysterians. That's who my team is. It's Question Mark and the Mysterians, because the question mark is Rain Dakota Prescott.
Ain't no question mark, Skip. You got 7-year sample size.
Just when I thought he had turned the corner, he took me right down a dead-end street. Am I right?
He took you down memory lane.
Okay, memory. Well, it wasn't memory. And yet I told you before the year, I should have listened to myself. I said, my team, this team will go as far as Micah and the Marauders take this team. Did I not tell you that? And the truth was, it took them pretty far yesterday, because my defense gave us a chance yesterday. Yeah. Were we not kept in the game by my defense?
You were, but what did I tell you, Skip? Even an outstanding defense can't overcome bad quarterback play.
It cannot. So I predicted that we would hold them to 20 points, and guess what? We held them to 19. Yes. Shouldn't that be good enough to win a game?
Yes.
A playoff game on the road against the vaunted 49ers with the last pick in the draft playing quarterback? Come on. I thought we could score 30 against them, silly me, and we got a grand total of 12.
Yeah, I know you want to get 30.
We got 12. I reached back into the past for 30 to 20, which was the breakthrough score of the 1992 NFC Championship game that vaulted us into the Super Bowl and over the Buffalo Bills. Okay, so we had so many opportunities. We had so many failures to launch, and it was just so typically extremely Cowboys.
If you let him go, what you going to do with Zeke? You going to bring Zeke?
I think we saw the end of Zeke, plow horse Zeke yesterday, because what do you get, 2.6 a try?
10 for 26.
Okay, it's just not good enough.
Yeah.
It's going to be a close game. You can't do that.
Yep.
Okay, now here we go in the third quarter, and we finally get a turnover, but it wasn't our defense which led the league in turnovers. It was our special teams.
Yes.
And guess who? Boss man Fat finally made a play. Kelvin Joseph, way to go, young man. You finally did something right. And he can move. And
he was unbelievable again yesterday.
He was unbelievable. He's all pro. He's first team all pro. It's for a reason. For a reason. Okay, I got that. Okay, so then they get the deep throw to Kittle, and it was the play of the game, and he juggles it and makes the catch. And the kid made a nice throw because he rolls way to his left, and they said it wasn't even, it's like the fourth read in the progression. He throws it over the middle, and Kittle bobbles it and finally catches it. But now we get to another play on this same drive. They're about to go in for the takeover touchdown, okay? It's still 9-9 going toward the fourth quarter. It hits him, Shannon, right in the hands. Well, I know it came fast. I know it's a think fast.
He wouldn't expect it.
Okay, I got it.
Catapult him so quick.
But if you hold on, if you can just snatch it and grab it and cling to it, you take their points away because Christian McCaffrey's about to go in for the touchdown that gives them a 16-9 lead. Okay, so now I got one more shot. Who's left on the field for me as a game breaker? We're somewhat CD, but Lil Turpin, the USFL MVP, is he not a game breaker? Did he not show you? Did he not flash for you all year and yesterday? Like, how can Turpin not? You know, you got to turpentine him.
The thing is, Skip, is that and I played 3 years on this. You never block the kicker.
No.
Because you like to think my returner is a better athlete than the kicker. So we're going to count for everybody else is you one-on-one because you're the runner, you're the blocker for the kicker, which means you got to juke him.
Okay. If he escapes and is gone and he can outrun all the rest of them, well, it's 16-16.
Right.
Unless you go for two right at that point. I don't know.
I don't think you go for two in that situation. Right. I think you go trust Maher.
Brett Maher, I told you going into the game, I didn't trust him on extra points, but he hadn't missed a field goal. And so yesterday, he felt comfort. You could see he had no demons on the field goal because he hit him right down the middle.
Right.
Okay, so that's a huge play. And if you throw it up for him, if you lay it out where he can run to it, he might still be running. Seriously.
But at least you get a completion. You didn't even give him a completion. You didn't even get a completion. So let's just say, for the sake of argument, Skip, he catches the ball, the safety's coming into play, the safety tackles it. Okay, you give you that. But you look where you are in reference to where you ended up being.
God. So I just showed you how Dak gave them 3 points to start on the first interception. He cost the team 3 or 7 points on the second interception. So start adding up these points, if you will. Then he missed CD down the middle. That could have been 3 or 7 points. Then he misses Gallup late. That could have been 3 or 7 points. These are throws where if you just make one of them, maybe we're having a different conversation here. Okay? And then Diggs drops the ball, and it gave them 7 points. It could have eliminated 7.
Right.
And I had so many chances where I'm just on the edge of my chair. I just need one. I just need one play because, in general, my defense did get tired at the end because they gave up a 91-yard drive and then they gave up a 64-yard field goal drive. But you can't blame them for getting tired because it's an onslaught.
Right.
Kyle's offense is just loaded with weapons everywhere. And when I look at what we held them to, isn't it pretty good that we held McCaffrey to 10 rushes for 35 yards? Isn't it pretty good that we held McCaffrey to 6 catches for 22 yards? I mean, that'll win the football game, right? How about Debo? Did he kill us like he did in the playoff game a year ago? No, he rushed 4 times for 11 yards. Debo caught 4 balls for 45 yards, and they didn't hurt. It's enough where the defense just stood strong and stood tall. I needed Micah to make a play. They didn't take the ball away one time except for the special teams. Micah had no sacks and 1 hit on the quarterback, and that's probably not enough. I needed him to disrupt, but he's going up against the best left tackle in football.
Well, Skip, I think the thing for you guys is that you're a hope team. You hope Dak plays well. You hope he doesn't turn the football over, and you hope your defense stand on your head, on his head. And I don't know if that's a consistent way to win football games, let alone play championship brand of football. You can't hope. Skip, I don't think Cincinnati goes into the game saying, I hope Joe Burrow plays well. Kansas City doesn't go into a game and says, man, I hope Patrick Mahomes play well. They just know they are. You go into every game saying, man, I hope Dak plays well, and I hope he doesn't turn the ball over. And what did he do? He did something what he had done for 2 months, didn't do it for 1 game, and then everybody said, well, that's who Dak is. He doesn't turn the ball over. So are we just going to disregard the 2 months in which he had a turnover in every single game?
No, we're not. You were correct. I was dead wrong. Last point. Dak Prescott is better than Cooper Rush. But I got to tell you, Cooper Rush would have won that game yesterday. Because Cooper Rush is exactly what I needed yesterday. I needed a quarterback who could handle the offense and make just a couple of big throws at the perfect time, just the way he clutched up against Cincinnati and up at the Giants on Monday Night Football. I just needed a couple of throws. He has a little better command to efficiently and consistently run the offense than Dak. I'm not saying he's better because Dak will go on flashes during the year where you say, oh, that's a top 2 or 3 offense, right? And he's a edge of the top 10 quarterback. Well, I can't make that case on Cooper Rush, but you watch. Somebody's going to pay Cooper Rush and make him their starting quarterback. He will not be a Dallas Cowboy, and unfortunately going forward, Dak Prescott will be.